um, is New Year's resolution. We talk about New Year's resolutions. I really have to go back and look it up. I mean, I looked it up because I'm like, okay, what is the New Year's resolution? I think, by just a show of hands or on chat, I think everybody in here has actually set a New Year's resolution. We all have. We've all set New Year's resolutions. That's because what is a New Year's resolution? And so Merriam-Webster defines it as a promise to do something different, differently this week, this month. And then also in the West and the East, everybody kind of set New Year's resolutions. And kind of what they depicted as being, it's like resolve to do something or continue some good practices or undesired state or behavior or whatever, personal goals. But for the day, what I want us to do, I want us to kind of suspend that for a moment and think about not just a New Year's resolution, but a new life resolution. A new life resolution. Why new life resolution? Think about it, because New Year's resolutions come and go, but every day we wake up and we have a new life. And I think about Og Mandino. Og Mandino was one of my favorite authors when I first went into sales. And Og Mandino, in The Greatest Salesman in the World, he says this. He says, today I began a new life. He says, today I shed my old skins, which had so long suffered the bruises of failure and the wounds of mediocrity. Today I'm born anew, and my birthplace is the vineyard where there's fruit for all. So think about today. I want for one moment, for today, for the next 30 minutes, we want to talk about not just New Year's resolutions. So when we're talking about this information, think it more of a new life resolution, more than a New Year's resolution. That way we'll get the most out of it. So there are going to be a couple of objectives today. We're going to have three objectives, really. Number one, we want to discuss why resolutions fail. And then the key word for today, if you have heard this word or not, but it's homeostasis. And the second thing we're going to talk about is the power of the subconscious mind. And then we're going to talk about strategies, how to move forward from all of this. Just a quick introduction of me for those who don't know me. I'm Curtis McCollum. I'm a human potential coach. And I basically, as a human potential coach, is more than just coaching. Basically, what I do, I help people realign their spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional energies in order for them to become best version of themselves. I incorporate life coaching. I'm a certified hypnotherapist. So I more go with integral hypnotherapy. I have a master's practitioner in neurolinguistic programming, master practitioner in mental and emotional release. My dad, I was born and raised in a Christian family, so I have a lot of spiritual principles that I practice, and I go even beyond that now over the years. And life experiences, for the last 35, 40 years. All of my life experiences, I put them all together. And I know I look young. So I started at age 5. So I started at age 5 of doing all this stuff, but that's who I am. Just a quick introduction of who I am and what I do and why we're here today. But this is the interesting slide, is that on New Year's resolutions, believe it or not, within 1 week, guys, 1 week, not even a month, the first week, 23% of people stopped their New Year's resolutions. They quit. 23%. 23% stopped their New Year's resolutions. And then by the end of the month, another 41% of people like, I quit. I can't do it anymore. They set these weight loss goals. They say, I'm going to go to the gym, and the gym is just full of people in the first week. And then about the first month, think about it, over 41%, another 41%, and only 36% of people are still on their New Year's resolutions after the first month. And then by the end of the year, only 9% of people actually finish their New Year's resolutions. That's astounding for me. I mean, I don't know if you knew that or not, but think about it. So one person, 1 out of 10, actually set a New Year's resolution, set a goal, set an objective, and finish it within 1 year, or stick to it within 1 year. So for me, what that does, you have to ask the question, why? What is it? Why do they not keep their New Year's resolution? And the simple answer is homostasis. Homostasis. And what is homostasis? Homostasis is really is the psychology of the mind and the body, where the tendency to resist change, and we want to maintain status quo. We don't want to change. Really and truly, I remember I went to a workshop, and the teacher was saying that he had us raise our hand. Who wants to be successful? Who wants to double their income? Who wants to lose weight? And everybody like raising their hand. Oh, I want to lose weight. Yeah, I want to make more income. And then he like looked in the camera and says, no, you don't. No. He says, you might have a desire to do it, but you don't want to do it because of the fact that you are comfortable in where you are now and who you are now. And homostasis keeps us stuck to where we are now. So we want to move, but we can't move. And so what it does, then it creates barriers. Homostasis creates barriers for us not to move. So basically discomfort and routine, new routine. So a person says, I want to go, think about, you say, I want to go lose weight. And you start a workout routine, and then usually it's too hard. And so you quit because number one is not comfortable. So new routines. Then another reason a person gets stuck in homostasis is the fear of failure. They don't want to fail. And then the last one is really the resistance of the subconscious mind. And that's really the biggest barrier when we're talking about homostasis and what it does and what it does not do. It's the power of the subconscious mind. So when we talk about the subconscious mind is that big factor that really prevents us and keeps us stuck where we are. So when we're talking about the subconscious mind, I want you to take a look at this in this slide here is that the subconscious mind actually has three parts. The first part is our conscious mind. That's our conscious, that's our willpower, our reasoning, our analysis, and our logic, and our decision making. That's what kind of controls us. That's what we want to do. That's why you get up in the morning and say, oh man, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. That's what you want to say. Consciously, that's what you want. And then we have a filter, and we're going to come back to that filter part. That filter, if you look at this as an iceberg, the tip of the iceberg on the top is the conscious mind. That's the only thing you really see. The line where the water meets the top of the iceberg is your critical mind. And then on the bottom is your subconscious mind. Now, let me ask you a question. 5% of what we want to do comes to us consciously. That's what we want. And 95% is subconscious. So if you want it, we're just losing weight. Everybody likes to lose weight. No, we all like to lose weight. So if you wanted to lose weight, right? You want to lose weight. Consciously, you say, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. But subconscious, you says, that's going to hurt. Which one you think is going to win out? I will put my money on the fact that 5% versus 95%. I will put my money on the 95% every time. And on the 95%, when we go back and look at it, that's our known associations. That's what we know. That's why we feel comfortable. You think about like this. We talk about all the time. Why do you think we stay in bad relationships? The reason we stay in bad relationships is because we know the person. Even though consciously we might say, oh yeah, they might not be good for me, but this is what I know. I know that that's what the person is. Or you say, well, why do a person smoke? Think about it. Consciously that says smoking is bad for me. I don't want to smoke. But subconsciously it's like, but it's a known. It feels good. It makes my body feels good. So you think about the knowns, the beliefs, the values, the attitudes, the decisions, and the language, and the matter, and the energy, and the space. All of that housed in the subconscious mind. So when you want to make a new decision, the first thing that happens is that you consciously say, I want to make this new decision. I want to make it consciously. It goes to your critical mind. Your critical mind says, okay, let's look at all the similar decisions you've made like this in the past. Listen to me very carefully. Similar decisions. It's not the same, but it's almost the same. It's not the true blue, but it's the close blue. So when it looks down on all of your incidents or all of the situations you've gone through in the past that looks like the one that you are trying to do, it says, nope. You remember way back when you set that goal and you didn't reach it? Nah, that's not good for you. So it kicks it out. And so basically we stand in the homeostasis. Somebody had a question? I saw a hand go up. That was my hand. It might have been my hand. Might have been my hand going down. I know sometimes sometimes it does that. It kind of goes into these programs. So now when think about like, well, how is it programmed? The 6 ways we program our mind. You might want to take notes of this. Number one is 6 ways we're actually programmed. Its ideas are accepted or decided. How are they accepted or decided? Number one is by an authority figure. Somebody of authority says, do this. An point would be an authority figure or an example of an authority figure. An example of an authority figure would be a minister, a pastor, or somebody of authority. A doctor. A doctor comes into the room. They have this really nice coat on, and they tell you, I've seen this happen. I haven't seen it personally happen, but I've seen it happen, meaning that I've heard it happen. The doctor tell a person, you're going to die in 3 weeks from cancer. The doctor with the coat, their authority figure, person believes them. 3 weeks to the day, boom, they did. So authority figures basically program us. So like when we were kids, for me, one of the biggest programs was, look, I was a church person. So I went to church, the person, authority figure, standing up in the pulpit, looking down on us, telling us what to do and what not to do. We believe them. We decided that's what to do. And so we're always scared and afraid. Peer groups, people who are around you, actually start this 6 ways of programming. So the people around you, a high emotional state. What I mean by high emotional state is that I remember I had a really, really terrible car accident. In one moment, I decided that I'm afraid to drive on the freeway. And so for years, when I was driving on the freeway, passing by big trucks, I would like just freak out. I was like immobilized and couldn't move because of a high emotional state actually program us really quickly. And then we think about high emotional states too. Think about anytime you want to set a new goal, it has to have some emotions attached to it. Another one is repetition. I remember when I first started to drive, I drove a stick shift. And so when you first started to drive, you have to think about everything. You know, for me, it was a stick shift. That means you have 3 pedals, right? You have the gas, you have the brake, and you have the clutch. And you got to know how to come off the brake just enough with the clutch. If you come off the clutch and the brake too quick, you're going to stall out. And so you've been thinking about all these things. Your mind is just thinking about all these things. And all of a sudden, you do it over and over and over and over and over again. And then all of a sudden, you forget. You just jump in the car, you turn on the car, you don't go to 10 and 2 anymore. You start the shift and you start to do it. And it's like you've been doing it all of your life. Why? Over time, repetition program us. And then another way is we go back and look at the hypnotic state, or prayer or meditation is a way to program. And another way that we're programmed is we say yes to something. Now I'm talking about not a wimpy yes, like, yeah. No, I mean like yes. You know, the only thing that I could come up with, I was thinking about when I was looking at this slide, was when a person says yes to Christ. I mean, think about it. It's like a person is sitting in their seat. The preacher's preaching to him, if you don't come to us today, you're going to go to hell. And he was like, oh my God, I got to say yes to Christ. And I say, yes. And I jump up and I make a decision. I'm reprogrammed at that moment. So I'm saying about a yes. I mean, like, something that you just really say yes. It's not a wimpy yes, like yes, no, 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 no. I mean, like really with your body, mind, and spirit and everything you talk about saying yes to. So that's what we're talking about when we say yes to something. So now, so basically now homeostasis kind of sets in. So it's like, so how do we change it? How do we overcome it? Well, we can overcome it the same way we got into it, a gradual habit change. For Maine and Lisa both, we started a new habit. We do 10,000 steps a day. We didn't start at 10,000 steps. We started at maybe 3 or 4, 500 steps, and every day we gradually moved up until we got to 10,000. So gradual move up on it. Another one is your environment, a supportive environment. Just like, peer groups or the supportive environment also helps you overcome homeostasis. Using techniques for the ton of techniques that I use NLP, I use MER, I use hypnosis, reframing, and all those things help us kind of overcome the stagnation or overcome the homeostasis. Then we talk about really aligning. One of the major things is to overcome a homeostasis is to align your values and your goals. When you set a goal or a new resolution, you have to set it in a thing, something you really want, not something you think you want, not something that's kind of wimpy. Yeah, it'd be a good idea type thing. I mean, something that just really resonates with you. That's gonna create an emotion in you. I mean, right now with Lisa, we're recreating a new segment of law, how to actually implement the law of attraction, where we're going to have a program where you can do it daily, where you set what you want, what is it, what you truly want, why do you want it, and then how can you get emotionally connected to it, so that you have an emotion to it. So if you were setting a goal, Wendy, I think you like doing more of those workshops you're doing. So now you'll close your eyes, you take a deep breath and see and sense yourself actually involved in the actual event itself, as though that you're already there. So when you're talking about aligning your beliefs and your values with your goals, that's what we're talking about, really aligning yourself with it. So that's how you actually overcome homeostasis. So in conclusion, is like, what's next? Really and truly is actually, how can you implement some of these things? Obviously, one of the ways to do that is, we can have an opportunity to meet with me. Most of you already know me and already meet with me, and you could do it anyway, anytime you want to. But if you were not here, you could basically, we did create, I don't know if you saw this or not, but we did create a new daily mental supplement on goal setting, achievement, and attraction. And because you're here, everybody who Anna has emails for, she'll send you a copy of that daily. It's like a 5-minute meditation, really good. I just created that one. It's for this workshop only. And then we have an accelerated program, and we have New Year's this year. We're offering 15% on all the things that we currently do now. So just in a quick recap, we talked about why resolutions fail. Homeostasis. That's your word for today. Homeostasis. Your your body and your mind and your spirit wants to stay comfortable. And so even though you set new goals, homeostasis keeps us where we are. It's a good thing for our heartbeat and for our blood pressure and all these other things. We need homeostasis for that. But for our goal setting, homeostasis can actually keep us down. How do we change it? We change it by using the power of our subconscious mind. And then also we use strategies to move forward. Other strategies is goal setting, visualization, and actually coming up with opportunities to actually overcome. So right now I'm going to open it up. So any questions that you might have for me, any questions whatsoever, just feel free to raise your hand and have a question, or put it in chat, either way. Any questions? Don't be shy. I see you trying to talk, Wendy, but your thing is still on mute.
So this is kind of a observation, but there may be a question in here of how to get better at this.
Mhm.
In setting these goals and trying to be more consistent, I've noticed that there's a bit of like a lesson in learning to trust intuition because there'll be times where I'll be consistent, and then I'll feel like a fish out of water a little bit with this new consistency or the thing that I'm doing. And so I'm having to differentiate between uh, am I just feeling out of sorts because it's new, or am I feeling out of sorts because, oh, this actually isn't right for me? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So it's
That's
been,
the
I
question.
guess it's a lesson in, in learning to trust instincts more. But it'd be great sometimes I get to a point where it's obvious that like, oh, this is just a new habit, and so just keep going. You're on the right
Right.
path. And then there's a part where I really am questioning, like, maybe this is my instinct saying you tried this and this is not right for you.
Interesting. And that's a
Yeah.
good one, Wendy. I mean, because
Mhm.
that one really and truly, you really have to trust your intuition.
Mhm.
Like, okay, so like we'll just use exercise again.
Mhm.
Because when you first start exercise, is this something that you want to do? No,
Right.
no, it hurts. I mean, let's just be honest. It doesn't feel good. I mean, for me right now is I know I got my workout in the back of my head I got to do when I get off the call later on today.
Mhm.
But it's not something I'm like really excited about, but it's good for me.
Mhm.
So, but I know it is good for me. So I'm willing to go through it and continue to do what I do. And to 10,000 steps a day is not easy. Some days I don't feel like doing 10,000 steps. And because I do 10,000 steps every day, my blood pressure is down, my health is better, I feel much better. And so I do it. So yeah, you have to differentiate. Yeah, is it good for me? Or is it still homeostasis trying to keep me?
Right.
What are y'all? Yeah, Lee. I still can't hear you. Check the mic. Check your mic. I think you probably is you.
Hold on a minute.
There it is.
Oh,
There
See
you
there
are.
this?
you are.
There you are.
Okay. Um, when you were saying, Wendy, that differentiating between, is it a new habit that I'm resisting?
Mm-hmm.
Resistance to me is a big thing. It's like when you're doing something new and you're not used to doing it, there's this resistance of
Mm-hmm.
change. And I think you're on the right path when you're saying intuition. I call that tuning in. I
Mm.
call that tuning in to your higher self to be able to ask yourself questions. Is this? Is this, or is this this? And I just find that it'll bubble up to what it actually is. Is
Mm.
it resistance or is it not? But I believe
Bubble
that we
up,
all,
bubble up over time, or bubble up.
for me, it bubbles up pretty quickly.
Mm.
I can ask a question and within a half an hour, I know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you trust that, you'll know, no, actually, this is what I do when I don't want to do something new. This is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of know, you'll kind of know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and sometimes you do need to dial back a little bit and go, okay, well, maybe, yes, this is my new goal, but maybe I'm approaching it in a too aggressive way. And I need to scale it to something that's more manageable. Because, like Curtis was saying, pain and pleasure, it's like if it hurts too much, if it's too much of a stretch right now, it's too uncomfortable. So kind of take it into biteable
Mm-hmm.
pieces to be able to grow and feel good with it. But tuning in
Mm-hmm.
is my little piece today.
I love
Is
that.
my piece today.
Yeah, I love that. Thank
Yeah,
you. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Thank you.
Tuning in. The answers are there.
Mm-hmm.
They're always there.
Yeah, I
Just
think
tune
what
in now.
yeah, like Lisa was saying is that your higher self always know what's best.
Always.
You know, and we can't not not pay attention to it. Now, if you and you know if okay, is this a total violation of who I am? Is
Yeah.
it violating my
Yeah.
beliefs and my values? Because one thing that we didn't really talk about here because we didn't have time, but think about your values. You know, when some of the sessions we do, we elicit a person's values to determine because most people don't even know what their values are in a certain area. And so we're violating our values sometimes. We don't even know it. And it feels uncomfortable. And we don't know why is it feeling uncomfortable? Because it still might be violating a core belief or value real deep inside that we have not brought to consciousness. And then, but overall, it should feel good. Some days it doesn't. I mean, just come come on. 10,000 steps. Sometimes 10,000 steps gets really hard to do, and if I don't jump on them really quick, some nights I'm like, oh, Lee, I mean, it's 7 o'clock and I only have 7,000 steps. I don't think I'm going to make it today. And I keep going and keep walking. And 30 minutes later, I have my 10, but some days are harder than others. So sometimes there is resistance because that's what it is. It's just a little bit hard. That's all. Yeah. Any other questions? Good question, though. I like that. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for supporting me today. If nothing else, well, right now, since it's just us few, give me some feedback. What do you think about this particular segment, and what we can do to improve it? Since we have few people and all family and friends and stuff, so that's good.
You're still muted.
I thought I know. I realize I keep trying to press on my screen on my little. Yep, technology is not my strength. Speaking of technology, I love that the cameras are working today. It's really nice to see other people's faces. I was wondering about that on my way here. I said, oh, I wonder if the cameras will work. So I think that's really helpful to have people's faces to work off of from a teaching, speaking perspective. That's always super helpful. And I'm looking forward to, Lisa, whatever your segment is going to be. I think that, that's going to be great. So
thank you.
Is that something that's going to be incorporated into these sessions or into the business in general?
Both.
Both.
Nice.
Both. Yeah, both. Yeah, we both bring something unique, a unique approach to our foundation core beliefs of conditioning the mind and manifesting, and just really and truly just manifesting your best self, your best life, so we bring something unique together. We're a good team. And that's why we've been together for so long, huh? But I think this segment today was really good. I think you were really relaxed today. I think the information was not too fast. It's a lot of information, meaning that I know there's still so much behind it. And so I know that must be difficult to try to whittle it down to help people to understand why they keep going back to what they're doing. That's a session all in itself. That's a whole thing about subconscious mind, habits, routines, and doing with that. So, kudos to you for trying to take something that's so vast and to try to make it like I said, in a bite-sized way where people can go, oh, okay, and kind of take something from it, kind of let it ruminate and go, well, what does that mean? And how do I apply that? How do I make change? So I think you did a good job. I always like higher elevated stuff, but I understand everybody's not at the same place. So we can have our private conversations at the coffee table. But I look forward to when we can really get in and have people who truly want life change, life transformation, and to be able to install those tools for them to daily be able to harness that power within themselves to be able to navigate this crazy, beautiful world that we live in. And so, in this life that we live. Yeah. So I thought you did a good job, sweetie.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I just have one more comment. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Go ahead.
Just
Go.
I would prefer to be able to see your face at the same time as the notes on the screen,
Oh,
just
yeah.
because it's hard to write in between, and then you lose where you're writing and then you're talking. So
Well, what
that's just
happened was I normally, and that's a good point, and normally I do have myself on the screen, and it wasn't working like I wanted to this morning. And so
okay.
when we designing the slides in the future with Anna, we'll design it so that there's a cutout with me can be there so that I'm not covering something. And so that's what it was. Is like when I saw it this morning, when I was rehearsing it again, I was cutting off a part of the slide and I didn't want to. And I'm like, okay, I'm not that important that I want to cut off the slide. So I made a decision not to do it. So yeah, normally I do. I try to keep it a small picture of me on it so we can be talking through it and the slides can stay. But good point. Thank you, Wendy. Yes. Yes, Anna.
If I had to compare this webinar with the previous one, I feel that you are more relaxed than the previous one. It felt more conversational, closer, friendlier, maybe. But if you are relaxed, the rest is relaxed. So I think that you were more relaxed in this one than in the other one. That's obvious because the first time that you do something, you are kind of nervous. And I felt that the kind of information today was easier to acquire and to understand. Maybe in the previous one, it was a bit heavier. Shame on me because we planned that together. But it's this thing that you want to communicate everything and that people know everything. And maybe the previous one was a bit heavier. And this one was better to follow, better to understand. It's true that when you start listening, you say, okay, there is a lot more to know here. But at the same time, it was easy to follow and to understand and to get the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you remember you designed it. So
I know, but you did it perfectly.
Ali,
Yeah.
if you have any feedback for us before we leave, if you're still there. I mean, I see your picture. I mean, your thing is still there. If you could type something, or if you're not safe, don't worry. We'll talk later. No worries. We'll talk later. Thank you guys so much for being on with us. And yeah, so thank you again, Wendy. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Ali, for supporting me in this. And obviously, we're going to rebrand it, this one, from New Year's resolution to something dealing with sales. We think that's one of the reasons people didn't really want to know about New Year's resolutions. They wanted something different. The information is the same. We just rebranded to something that more catchy for everybody else to kind of jump on and get something out of it. But appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye, Wendy.
Bye. I love your hair.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. Okay. Bye.